Finally, some Star Wars news. Hey fellow Force users, what is up? It's AhsokaTanoFan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know you guys have probably seen the Bad Batch trailer by now, which was just dropped. It feels good to kind of go back to my roots here because obviously if my name didn't give it away, this channel started as a Star Wars channel, or more specifically an Ahsoka channel. The fact that we've got some Star Wars content now is pretty exciting considering this year so far it's been kind of more about Marvel and a bit of DC with the Snyder Cut. I'm really excited to look at the trailer. It just dropped. I did not expect it to. I just happened to go on Twitter and see that it was trending. I have not seen anything or read anything about the trailer, so I have no idea what to expect. I just know that it's 2 minutes and 4 seconds long. So yeah, without further ado guys, I won't speculate too much. Let's jump right into the reaction video. Tarkin. Nice. So this looks like after Order 66, obviously. Whoa. It kind of reminds me of the box from the Clone Wars, that episode. Okay, droids, nice. Who's this person? Definitely been studying the Bad Batch. Okay, so they obviously go rogue and they're gonna be hunted down. Fennec Shand.
Come with us.
How can I help?
Who is that kid?
The Clone Wars have ended.
Rex. Was it Saw Gerrera?
Survive with the past.
It is him. It sounded like him.
The decision is yours.
Saw Gerrera. Wow. So that means they must go back to Onderon. Whoa. Whoa. That's a lot to process. Okay, awesome. So, well, we saw a lot there. Okay, so quick, immediate thoughts. I'm just going off of what I just saw. I only watched it once. First of all, the animation looks interesting because it looks like the Clone Wars animation, obviously, but it also looks a little bit different, which is cool because it kind of gives the show a little bit of a new feel. We saw Tarkin, obviously, so he looks like he's going to have a big presence, and he looks a little bit different from the last time when we saw him in the Clone Wars. Well, technically the last time we saw him was in Rebels, but I mean chronologically in the timeline, the last time we would have seen him would have been in the Clone Wars, and so he definitely looks a little bit aged, so we can assume that some time has gone by since the end of the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. I wonder if it's during the same time as the final scene in the Clone Wars series finale, which showed Vader, which clearly looked like sometime later, right? Hey, that rhymed. So maybe the Bad Batch is taking place during that time, years in the future or something like that. And also, I mentioned this during my reaction as well, but that whole scene where Tarkin had them in that simulation training area, it definitely kind of reminded me of the box from season 4 of the Clone Wars, where we had, Cad Bane and Embo and other bounty hunters that had to maneuver their way out of those, very dangerous situations. I kind of got that parallel there. Also kind of reminded me a little bit of the Clone Cadet arc from season 3 of the Clone Wars. It just really giving me Clone Wars nostalgia, which I love. So that character at the end with the blonde hair, I'm not sure who they were. I don't know if that's a little boy or a little girl. Might be a little girl. It's not like 100% clear. They're a young child, but whoever this person is, they definitely seem to know a lot about the Bad Batch, even knew all of their names. And looks like this character is with the Bad Batch as they're trying to escape from what I presume would be Tarkin hunting them down, because Tarkin does mention in the trailer later that Clone Force 99 needs to be found. And so obviously it looks like they go rogue and they don't do what they're supposed to do, which shouldn't surprise us because they're the Bad Batch. So we know that they are not traditional clones and don't really seem like the type to follow orders. So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what that's all about, who this person is. The whole storyline looks really interesting to me. We saw some familiar faces. So it looked like we saw Rex and Saw Gerrera, which is really interesting. It tells us a couple things. So one, seeing Saw Gerrera makes me think of the Clone Wars Onderon Arc back in season 5, which Ahsoka went there with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and they were helping the rebels. Ahsoka ended up staying behind while Anakin and Obi-Wan went back, and they helped the rebels fight to overthrow the corrupt king and whatnot. So during that arc, we saw Lux Bonteri, who was a love interest for Ahsoka during the Clone Wars, and we got introduced to Saw Gerrera and Stila Gerrera. And if you guys watch the Clone Wars, you know what happened to Stila Gerrera, who is Saw Gerrera's sister. But Saw Gerrera obviously went on to become a very prominent figure in the rebellion, and we do see him in Rogue One and in Star Wars Rebels. So it's cool that we're seeing him again. We'll get to know a little bit more about his story and how he went from the Clone Wars era, Saw Gerrera, that rhymed again, I'm on a roll with the rhymes here, to Rogue One, Saw Gerrera. So I'm interested in seeing what happens with that. And the fact that we see Rex is huge because the last time we saw him, he was with Ahsoka, obviously, at the end in the Clone Wars Season 7, the series finale. We know that from the Ahsoka book, they were supposed to go their separate ways. Ahsoka is presumably, she might be off on her own now on Rada and doing her own thing, kind of living undercover like she did in the Ahsoka novel. And then this might be what Rex is up to, right? We kind of learned a little bit about Ahsoka's story in the novel, but we didn't know what Rex was doing all this time during Order 66. So now we know. It looks like he does cross paths with the Bad Batch again, and he might be working with them and the rebels, including Saw Gerrera. And Fennec Shand. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was nice to see Fennec Shand again, who we saw in the first trailer. I am still hoping for an Ahsoka appearance, obviously, because I do miss animated Ahsoka. It'd be nice to see her, one more time at least. And so the fact that we do see Rex gives me a little hope that it's possible maybe we'll see Ahsoka show up. If not, I definitely do expect her to be mentioned in some way. And of course, Fennec Shand, there's obviously so much for us to learn about her because we see her in The Mandalorian, obviously, but we don't know much about how she got to that point. So this series will no doubt give us the opportunity to learn a little bit more about her story, and just knowing that she worked with the Bad Batch, or seems to be working with the Bad Batch. So that'll be cool. But yeah, that's just my first impression. Very exciting trailer. I just can't wait for May. May 4th can't come any sooner. You guys let me know what you thought of the trailer. Leave a comment down below to keep the discussion going. And as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, guys, if you enjoyed the video. And you could share the video as well if you'd like. Take care, and until next time, I will see you in the next video.